The compliment that changed everything. Kyle had worked on the joint human-alien base for almost 8 months. The base was deep underground, hidden on a rocky moon, orbiting a red gas giant. Most of the human engineers worked in silence, afraid of the alien warriors stationed around them. These weren't friendly tourists. They were tall, powerful, and always watching. Kyle didn't care much for fear. He liked machines more than people. He spent his days fixing broken power lines and damaged drones. He talked to tools more than teammates. But everything changed the day he noticed her. Her name was Vera. She was not like the other alien soldiers. She never spoke, never smiled. She stood still like a statue, guarding the main control door with her glowing double blade and cold silver armor. Her eyes, though, were strange. Glowing blue, bright like small stars. They didn't just shine. They watched. Some said she could read thoughts. Others said she had killed 3 warriors with one move. Kyle had passed her a dozen times. She never looked at him, never moved. He always nodded politely, but she didn't react. Not even once, until today. As he walked by, he stopped suddenly. Something about the way the light hit her eyes made him pause. Maybe it was the long hours of work. Maybe it was the loneliness, but he looked up and smiled. "You have great eyes," he said softly. Just that. Nothing more. A simple line. Not loud. Not disrespectful. Just honest. Vera blinked, for the first time ever. Kyle was about to walk away, when he noticed something. The hallway light dimmed, or maybe his vision narrowed. He heard a strange hum. Vera stepped forward. Her eyes glowed brighter. Her lips moved slightly. "You see me?" she said. Kyle froze. She had never spoken. "Before, Yeah," he replied. "I mean, of course, you're always standing here." "But you saw me," she said again. Before he could answer, alarms blared. Red lights flashed. The ceiling lights turned cold blue. Security bots rushed in. 2 alien guards ran into the hallway and surrounded Kyle. "What did you say to her?" One barked. "Nothing," Kyle said. "I just complimented her eyes." The guard's face changed. Not anger, not confusion, but fear. "You fool," he whispered. "You triggered the choosing." Kyle looked around. "What's the choosing?" Vera stepped in front of him. "He is under protection." "What?" Kyle said. "Wait, what's happening?" The guard stepped back. No one dared touch her. A loud voice echoed through the hallway speakers. It was the base commander, a half-human, half-alien diplomat, named Rovek. "Bring the human to command chamber now, the warrior too." Kyle didn't argue. He followed silently, Vera walking beside him like a silent shadow. Inside the command chamber, Rovek looked troubled. "Do you know what you've done?" he asked Kyle. "I really don't." Rovek sighed. "Her kind doesn't form attachments, like humans. They live by strict laws of honor and strength. No one ever sees them. Not truly. No one dares to compliment them. Especially not a warrior born with eye glow." "Eye glow?" Kyle repeated. Rovek nodded. "Vera belongs to an ancient bloodline, rare, sacred. When someone notices her eyes, one really notices them, like it's taken as a soul mark. A bond, a choosing." "I didn't mean," Kyle started. "It doesn't matter what you meant," Rovek said. "What matters is what she accepted." Kyle turned to Vera. "Is this real? Do you think we're bonded now?" Vera didn't look away. "You saw what others did not. I do not reject the bond." Kyle sat down slowly, like the weight of a planet had dropped on his shoulders. "This is crazy." Rovek leaned forward. "Listen to me, human. If you reject her now, her people will not blame you. They'll blame her. In their eyes, she will be shamed, unworthy, maybe even punished." Kyle looked at her, strong, silent, unreadable. He didn't know her, but something inside him felt heavy. She had chosen him without hesitation, not for power, not for protection, just because he saw her. What do I do now? He asked. Rovek said, You stay close. You don't speak carelessly. And whatever happens, do not tell her you were joking. Kyle swallowed hard. As they left the room, Vera walked beside him, her steps perfectly in sync. She didn't speak again, but when he looked at her, her eyes glowed softly, and in that moment, Kyle knew this was only the beginning. She follows him now. The next morning, Kyle woke up to silence. He rubbed his eyes and stretched, expecting another long day of fixing broken machinery. But as he opened the door of his room inside the base, he stopped. Cold Vera was standing there, not just standing, guarding. Her long blade rested across her back. Her eyes were focused straight ahead. She didn't blink, she didn't move. She was waiting. Good morning, Kyle said awkwardly. Vera looked at him. You live, that is good. He stepped back a little. Were you standing here all night? Yes, she said simply. Why? You are my chosen. Until the bond is denied or fulfilled, I remain with you. Fulfilled? Kyle asked. What does that mean? But she didn't answer. Instead, she followed him. All the way to the tech bay. All the way to breakfast. Even inside the crowded hall where engineers whispered and pointed. Some laughed, others looked scared. One man even dropped his tablet in shock. Kyle tried to ignore them. Okay, listen, he said quietly to her as they walked. You really don't have to follow me everywhere. I do, she replied. To leave your side would mean dishonor. It would mean you reject me. I didn't say that. Then I remain. They entered the drone repair zone. Kyle got to work, pretending things were normal. But nothing was normal. Even the machines hummed differently today. Hours passed. Vera stood near the door watching every move. She never spoke, never interrupted. But whenever Kyle dropped a tool or muttered in frustration, her head turned slightly, like she was ready to strike anything that bothered him. Then it happened. A drone malfunctioned. Its leg spun wildly and snapped, launching a sharp metal shard across the room. It came fast, aimed directly at Kyle's chest. Before he could even flinch, Vera moved. She crossed the room in one blur of motion, grabbed the shard midair, and crushed it in her fist. The sound echoed like dry bones cracking. Everyone froze. She turned to Kyle. You are unharmed? Yeah, he said wide-eyed. Thanks to you, someone whispered behind them. He really is her chosen. Within minutes, base security arrived. Not to arrest, but to report. They had received word, from Vera's command unit, that she had abandoned her post. A tall alien officer stepped forward. Warrior Vera, why are you not at your guard station? Vera didn't blink. I have a new post. I serve the chosen. That human, the officer growled. You shame your bloodline. Vera said nothing, but her blade slid half an inch from its sheath. The officer snarled and turned to Kyle. You will answer to the council. No outsider binds a warrior without facing the circle. Kyle stepped back. I didn't do anything. I just said, You spoke the words, the officer said, and she heard them. Now the bond must be judged. Before Kyle could reply, Rovek entered the room. The half-human commander raised a hand signaling silence. Enough, Rovek said. He didn't know your customs. But he accepted the bond. Vera said clearly. Everyone turned to her. He did not run. He did not reject me. In our laws, that is enough. Rovek looked at Kyle. Are you rejecting her now? Kyle looked at her, standing tall, strong, and deadly. But her eyes still held something quiet. Something waiting. No, he said. I'm just trying to understand. Then you will face the circle, Rovek said. It is tradition. What happens there? Kyle asked. Vera answered. You will be tested, not by weapons, by truth. Kyle nodded slowly. But inside, he was scared. He had no idea that a small compliment would lead to this, being followed, protected, and now judged by an alien council. But it was too late to back out. He had seen her eyes, and she had seen him. The night she stood guard outside his room. Kyle couldn't sleep. His mind kept replaying everything that had happened in the last 2 days. The compliment, the alarms, the way Vera's eyes glowed when she looked at him. And now, the upcoming judgment by something called the Circle. He turned in his bed, sighed and pulled the blanket higher, but then he heard something. A slow, steady breath just outside his door. He sat up quickly, no footsteps, no voices, just that quiet breathing. He stood and walked carefully to the door. Opened it. Vera stood there, one hand on her blade, eyes scanning the hallway. "You should be sleeping," Kyle said, rubbing his eyes. "I do not sleep while you are vulnerable," she replied. "You don't have to do this." "I choose to," she said. Kyle didn't know what to say. No one had ever guarded him like this, not even during the wars. He leaned against the doorframe. "You know, this is all still strange to me." Vera looked at him. "It is strange." "To me too." For a moment there was silence between them. Not cold, not awkward, just calm. Then she spoke again. "In my tribe I was unwanted." Kyle blinked. "What?" She looked down the hallway, her voice low. "I was born small, weak. My eyes glowed too soon. The elders said it was a curse. I was sent to the outer rings to guard doors. Not lead. Not speak, just stand." Kyle felt his chest tighten. "And then you spoke to me," she said. "You saw what no one else saw." Kyle stepped closer. "I didn't mean to cause trouble." "You didn't," she said. "You gave me purpose." The hallway lights dimmed slightly, signaling night protocols. Kyle smiled a little. "You should rest, Vera. Only when you do." "Fine," he said, "but at least come inside. You can sit, not stand like a statue all night." She hesitated. "Is it allowed?" she asked. He nodded. "I allow it." She stepped in carefully, like it was sacred ground. She sat by the door, blade across her lap, eyes still alert. Kyle climbed back into bed, trying to calm his thoughts. A few minutes passed. Then he asked, "Do you regret bonding with me?" Vera didn't answer right away. Then she said, "No. Even if I die for it, no." Kyle turned toward her, surprised. "They'll really punish you if the Circle rejects this." "Yes," she said. "They will strip my name, erase my records. I will be nothing. And me, you will be erased too. From memory, from story, like you never existed." Kyle stared at the ceiling. "So what do we do?" "We stand together," Vera whispered. "That is the only way." The room fell silent again. But now, there was something stronger between them. Not romance, not desire. Just two souls, broken in different ways. Choosing not to break again, somewhere deep in the base, an ancient chamber was being prepared. The Circle. The judgment, and unseen by both of them, a figure watched from the shadows of the hallway camera feed. Someone who didn't want this bond to survive. Someone waiting for the perfect moment. The challenge for her life. The chamber of judgment was cold, wide and older than the base itself. Kyle stood at the center of a glowing circle, heart pounding in his chest. Strange alien symbols floated above his head, turning slowly in the air. Hundreds of alien eyes watched from above, silent, waiting. Beside him stood Vera, her face calm, her blade across her back. Above them sat the high circle, 12. Alien elders in long robes, each representing a different bloodline. They had come to judge the bond, not with words, but with tradition. An elder with golden skin and eyes like smoke stood up. "Warrior Vera, you have broken order. You were unchosen, yet you accepted the words of a human." "He saw what others refused to see," Vera replied. "He saw me," the crowd murmured. Some whispered in shock, others in disgust. Another elder, older and colder, said, "His words triggered the old rite. And yet he is not of our kind. Does he accept the bond even with the price?" Kyle stepped forward slowly. "I accept her. I don't fully understand this, but I won't reject her." Then you must prove it, the elder said. A loud tone echoed through the chamber. 3 armored warriors stepped into the circle. Each stood tall, stronger than Vera. Their faces were hidden behind black masks. Their armor bore the mark of challenge. These are the chosen warriors of rejection, the elder declared. If your bond is false, they may claim her life. If your bond is true, she may fight to keep it, or you may stand in her place. Kyle's breath caught. Wait, he said. You mean they'll kill her if I fail this? Yes, the elder said. Vera turned to him, her voice steady. This is not your fight. I will win. Kyle looked at her. No, I started this. I'll finish it. Gasps echoed through the chamber. A human stepping into a warrior challenge? Unheard of. Very well, said the elder. You may enter, but you cannot fight alone. What? She must stand with you. Your bond must survive together, or not at all. Vera drew her blade. We fight as one. Kyle was handed a simple staff, made of light metal. No edge, no power, just balance. The first warrior rushed forward, fast and brutal. Vera stepped in front, blocking the strike, with her blade. Sparks flew. She pushed him back and spun around, landing a sharp kick to his chest. The second warrior charged. Kyle tried to move, but he slipped. Vera caught him mid-fall, pushed him behind her, and disarmed the attacker with a single motion. Kyle watched in shock. She wasn't just skilled. She was born for this. We must stand together, she whispered. The third warrior came, this one smarter. He moved around them, aiming for Kyle. Vera couldn't protect both sides at once. Kyle took a deep breath. He remembered his old training from Earth. Not much, but enough. He stepped forward and blocked the blow with his staff. The shock ran through his arms, but he held his ground. Vera spun, slicing the third warrior's leg. He fell. All 3 challengers were down. The crowd fell silent. The elder stood. Your bond has been tested, and it has survived. But another elder stood. Not yet. The final truth must be seen. A glowing light appeared between Kyle and Vera. Touch it together, the elder said. If your bond is true, it will open. They reached forward. Their fingers touched the light at the same time. It burst open, revealing a vision. In the light, everyone saw it. A future where humans and aliens worked side by side, where Vera stood as a leader, and Kyle as her equal. The chamber erupted in cries of disbelief. It is true, one elder said. The bond is real. Kyle and Vera stood side by side, breathing hard, but in the shadows above, someone else watched. Unseen, someone who wanted Vera gone, someone who hated the vision, and that someone was now ready to strike. The secret of her eyes, the celebration didn't last long, as the crowd began to rise from their seats, as whispers of the bond spread across the base. Kyle noticed something. Strange, Vera was breathing hard. Too hard. She dropped to one knee, gripping her head. Her blade clattered to the ground. Vera? Kyle rushed to her side. Her eyes, once glowing blue, now shifted. Not dimmed, but changing. They turned pure white, as if all light had been drawn into them. She's overheating, Rovek called, from behind. Someone help her. 2 alien medics moved forward, but Vera raised one shaking hand to stop them. Don't touch me, she whispered. Kyle knelt close. Vera, what's happening? She grabbed his wrist tightly. Her voice trembled. The light. The echo. It's waking up. What echo? She looked straight at him. The memory of the old ones. They're speaking. Through me. Before Kyle could ask more, Vera collapsed. Her body went limp, but her eyes remained open, glowing white and still. Panic spread in the hall. An elder stepped down quickly. Take her to the stasis chamber. Now. Within minutes, Vera was placed inside a crystal pod surrounded by alien technology far beyond Kyle's understanding. Her body floated in zero gravity. Her eyes stayed open, locked in a trance. Rovek pulled Kyle aside. We feared this would happen. What is this? Kyle demanded. What's wrong with her? Rovek looked tired, older than before. Her bloodline is ancient. Her eyes are not just for sight. They are vessels of memory. In rare cases, when the bond is real, they awaken visions from before the wars, before the galaxy fell into chaos. You mean she's seeing the past? Not just seeing, Rovek said. She's living it. In the pod, Vera's body began to twitch. A strange symbol appeared across her forehead, glowing like fire. What does that mean? Kyle asked. One of the elders stepped forward slowly, whispering in a serious tone. It means... She carries the voice of the first speaker. The room fell silent. Who's that? Kyle asked. A being who once united species through truth alone, the elder said. No weapons, no armies, just understanding. We thought that line was broken, but now... She remembers. Kyle stepped closer to the pod. Can she hear me? Maybe, the medic replied. Speak from the heart, that's how her kind connects. Kyle placed his hand gently on the crystal surface. Vera, he whispered. You said I saw you. I still do. I don't know what's happening, but I'm not going anywhere. Come back. Please. A pulse of light passed through the pod. Her fingers twitched, then her lips moved. Everyone leaned in. She spoke one line. They're coming. Kyle looked around. Who? But she didn't answer. Her eyes shut completely, and the pod dimmed. The elder turned sharply. Prepare the defenses. She's not warning us from memory. She's warning us from now. And far above the planet, something unseen moved in the dark. A fleet. Silent, cloaked, dangerous. They had heard the echo too, and they feared what Vera might become. Betrayal from within the base. The alarms hadn't sounded yet, but everyone could feel it. A pressure in the air. The calm before something violent. Outside the base, sensors flickered. Some failed without warning. And inside, silence replaced routine. Kyle sat alone in the medical wing, watching Vera float in the stasis pod. Her body was still, her expression peaceful, but her presence. It filled the room. Even in unconsciousness, she seemed alive. Rovek entered quietly. His face was pale. The fleet she warned about, he said. They're real. How close? Kyle asked. Too close. And they're not broadcasting any signals. Not even warnings. This isn't a visit. It's a strike. Kyle stood, heart pounding. Why would they come now? Because they're afraid, Rovek said. Vera's eyes showed them something that breaks the old order. Before they could say more, a medic ran into the room. Emergency. The stasis system just dropped to 70%. Something's draining her pod. Kyle rushed to the console. Strange symbols flashed across the screen, none of them part of the medical programming. This isn't a glitch, Rovek muttered. It's sabotage. They opened the panel behind the pod. A dark device had been wired into the system, draining oxygen and disrupting balance. Kyle grabbed it and threw it to the floor. It sparked and hissed. Attached to it was a message, written in red alien ink. She belongs to no human. Rovek stared at the note, then turned toward the hall. Guards, check every security feed. Someone inside the base wants her dead. Vera gasped inside the pod. Her body shook. Kyle opened the top hatch and reached in, lifting her out as carefully as he could. She was burning up. Vera, come back, he whispered. They tried to erase you. Her eyes opened, just a little. Kyle, behind. Before he could turn, a shadow moved fast, a cloaked figure lunging at him with a blade. But Vera's hand shot out and caught the attacker's wrist. Even weak, she was strong. With one twist, she dropped him to the floor. The mask fell off. It was a base officer, a high-ranking alien who had always kept his distance. His eyes were filled with hate. You broke our future, he spat. Our kind was never meant to bond with yours. Rovek had him arrested immediately, but the fear didn't leave the room. Kyle looked at Vera. Why would he do that? Vera sat up, slowly regaining strength. Because the old ways fear change, and we are change. Kyle helped her stand. The moment her feet touched the floor, her eyes flashed blue again. They're almost here, she said. I can feel them. Then we fight, Kyle said. Vera nodded. Not just for us, for everyone. Rovek rushed back in with new data. The cloaked fleet has stopped moving. They're waiting. Waiting for what? Kyle asked. Rovek's voice dropped. For you, Kyle. Me? They believe you've taken something that belongs to them. Her. Vera stepped forward. Then let them come. And I will show them who I belong to. The chamber shook. Red lights flashed. The final message arrived on every screen across the base. Release the bonded female, or be destroyed. Kyle looked at her. She looked at him. And together, they stepped toward the front gate. He finally understands her eyes. The sky above the base burned red. Ships circled like silent beasts, waiting for the order to strike. Inside, the command hall. Everyone watched the main screen. One wrong move, one wrong word. And the fleet would unleash fire that could erase the entire station. Kyle stood with Vera beside him, their hands almost touching. She wore ceremonial armor now, dark silver plates that glowed softly across her shoulders. Her hair was tied back, and her eyes, they were brighter than ever. She didn't look afraid. She looked ready. The alien queen from the attacking fleet appeared on the screen. Her voice was sharp, cold, ancient. The bond is false, she said. Release the girl. She is royal blood, and she belongs to us. Vera stepped forward. I do not belong to you. The queen's expression changed. You speak like a traitor. Vera's voice remained steady. No, I speak like someone who was seen for the first time. I speak like someone who chose. The queen ignored her and looked directly at Kyle. You, human. Do you think one compliment gives you the right to rewrite destiny? Kyle breathed slowly. No. But your people erased her for too long, and all I did was notice. The queen raised her hand. Then die with her. The fleet's weapons powered up. But before they could fire, Vera's eyes turned white once more. Light exploded from her body. Not like a weapon, but like a message. Symbols filled the air above the base. Ancient words. History. Truth. Every ship received the vision. Memories passed through her bloodline. Memories of peace, unity, hope. On the screen, the queen staggered back. This cannot be. That bloodline was extinct. Rovek stood behind them, smiling faintly. Apparently not. The queen's fleet began to shift. Their weapons dimmed. Some ships turned away. And then, before billions watching across different systems, Vera did the unthinkable. She kneeled, not to the queen, not to the elders, but to Kyle. She placed her blade at his feet, a gesture no warrior had ever made. The silence was heavy. Kyle stepped forward slowly. He bent down and lifted the blade. Then he looked at her. I still don't understand everything, he whispered. But I know one thing. You have great eyes. For the first time since their bond began, Vera smiled. A full, open, beautiful smile. And above them the stars blinked. The queen vanished from the screen. Her fleet left quietly. The war didn't happen because a human saw something no one else ever did. Because a warrior was tired of being invisible. Because two strangers shared one moment of kindness and turned it into something unbreakable. Later, that night under a peaceful sky, Kyle and Vera stood together outside the base. He asked, "What do you see now, with those eyes?" She looked up at the stars. "I see a future, where no one is forgotten." "Do I fit in that future?" She turned to him. You built it. The story ends here, but their bond changed everything.